Hello, guys. We are back with another angry rant, and if you read the title, yes, you guessed it. It's a Skyrim Special Edition, which I am a member of some Skyrim groups on Facebook. So, and this came to my attention when I saw a photo of a guy that got the PS4 version physically, and he showed a picture. I'm happy it does include all DLCs. I'm happy about that, but. But I went to go check the Xbox and see if it was out, and I still need to pre-order it, which that one kind of pissed me off. I'm like, God damn you, PlayStation fanboys! No, but all joking aside, because fine, if they get them, more power to them. I mean, whatever. But it came to my attention that when I went to see if I could get it that day on the Xbox website, I mean, I came to my attention that it was a full retail $60 price, and that's when I got pissed. And Bethesda, please take this into consideration. Take it, because because the way I see it here is and Squid, feel free to comment. Is I understand why you might think it's okay to put a $60 price on Skyrim again on Special Edition, because number one, when it was first released in 2011, my God, that game's fantastic. I actually have the Legendary Edition on PS3, all DLC, all that. I have a physical copy. It's still like brand new and shit, but yeah, like I love it. It's a fantastic game, fantastic. Like, oh my God, yes.
It really is. It really
Yes,
is.
like
But
content.
this,
I like that game is better than almost every game made since, from a few exceptions, but. It has a more attention to detail, more effort, and you can see it than most of the other games made since its release. So congratulations, Bethesda. You're still a badass company in my book. So there you go. There's a little bit like that. But I kind of again, back to topic here, because there might be some jokes and stuff in this rant to kind of keep it a little fresh here. Back to the point here. Um, I might see how it makes sense, because again, since you're remaking it with better and more detailed graphics, which I get, thank you, and also adding a mod system like Fallout 4, and you're adding those things, I get how it does cost money for the labor, since you do need to go through the step by step thing again, like you did the first time, and kind of and add those things and make I get that, I get, because it's not like it's not like re-releasing a movie, where you know what I mean, where it's just like, oh, you just re-release it and get some more money, like you know what I mean. It's, you actually had to do some work to get it to the quality it's at, and I appreciate that, and I thank you for that. Again, thank you, Bethesda. But
yeah, appreciate
but just because you work your ass off to make it more graphically impressive and add a mod system does not excuse the fact that, aside from those two differences, it's the exact same game that's 5 years old. It is not worth a full $60 pricing. I would have been okay with a $40 pricing, because again, the labor and all that, which I understand, even though I think it should be cheaper than even $40 in my opinion. I would tolerate that, and I would accept that, because of the fact I understand that you do need to work for it. You know what I mean? To add the mod system, you got to go through the steps. You got to go through the development again, and add the better. Like, I get that, and I get it costs money for labor. I understand that. And also the mod system, if you actually put a lot of effort into it and add a crap ton of awesome mods, namely ones where we can go to Oblivion. If you add that, I'm going to be hella frickin' happy, because I would love to go back to Oblivion again, because Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion was fantastic. I actually think that's better than
yeah.
Skyrim, except Skyrim has better gameplay, but other than that, I think Oblivion's better, but not by
Don't take
much.
his opinion personal. Don't take his opinion personal.
Yeah.
FYI, it's his opinion. So.
Yeah, it's just my opinion, but like I think overall Oblivion's better, my opinion, but Skyrim just has better gameplay due to the fact that it has slightly better mechanics, like fighting and all that, and also dragon shouts, and like the gameplay is just, it makes up for the fact that everything else is slightly worse. Not like drastically worse, but like, I mean, I think it's hard to explain, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here. It's just, there's a slight margin of difference, and the gameplay does make up for it, because oh my God, the gameplay in Skyrim's fantastic. But
But $60 is kind
yeah,
of,
but the thing is you also have to
overwhelming.
take into account from the other side as well, like my side, like why would I spend $60, for a game I already have? Because like I said, I have the PS3 physical copy of Skyrim Legendary Edition with Dawnguard, all DLCs. I have all of that. So, like, I get the mod system and better graphics, but like I said, beyond that, it's the same game. Why would I spend $60 for a more graphically impressive game? And the mod system, which again, depending on who I am, because people are different. And then this has happened to me with Fallout, where literally none of the mods I liked, except for one, which was the Godzilla mod, and I didn't have the DLC to play it, so I couldn't use it. And I'm not a big fan of Fallout, actually. The only reason I got Fallout 4 is because connections. Like my brother and home Xbox, I got it through him. But like Fallout's fantastic. I'm not saying it's crap. It's not my type of game. I'd rather go play Elder Scrolls. That's just me. Like, if you love the Fallout series and you guys play, more power to you, people watching this. But it's not my type of game. But I am not saying it's shit, because on a content perspective, it's like Elder Scrolls. It's got a lot of... It's great. It's fantastic. I just don't like the gameplay. That's my opinion. I'm not taking away it from its badassness. It's still a badass series. Go play it. Go buy it if you're into that. But seriously here, like, I actually, the mod system for me was useless, because it is limited, because depending on the consoles and stuff. So I mean, for all I know, and this is a possibility, it's kind of unlikely, but still a possibility here. This is me being over analytical here, which is why I'm trying to make you drop the price down, or at least help you open your mind a little bit. That what if I don't like the mods? Like, it's like, what if I spend $60 and literally every mod I don't like for whatever reason? Because people are different mindset, their tastes, and just hypothetically here, just entertain the possibility here. What if I didn't like any of the mods you had on there? Like, I know you might be able to add mods over time with updates or whatever, but like at release, that initial $60, like, you need to have a lot of good shit. You need to have a lot of damn mods for me to buy essentially a graphically improved same game that's 5 years old. You need to have a lot of damn fucking mods to make that shit worth it. I'm sorry. Because right now, if I went to go sell my Legendary Edition of Skyrim, I'd only get at most, depending on the shop, unless I met another Elder Scrolls fanboy that wanted to buy it off me because, values. But like, if I try to sell it at a store, the most I'd probably get is $10-12. A sixth of the price that, you know what I mean? Again, just for it to be graphically, no. Just no. But, like, I mean, again, and also think about it from the people that are economically struggling that already have the game, but that they see, oh my god, I'm a console player because, they're economically struggling, but not struggling to the point where they can't play games. Like they get by, they can buy, and you know what I mean? Like, they're, like, middle class, I should say.
Money struggling, but they can play games and shit like that, and they see their favorite game, Skyrim.
And they see their favorite game remastered, with the mod system, and, and they're struggling with money, but not to the point where they gotta get rid of consoles, I mean, they can still do console gaming, they can still pay for subscriptions, because, I mean, $60 a year is not that much. I mean, over time it adds up, but I mean, like, how many checks do people get? Like, if you're in the middle class, you can afford fucking Xbox Live. Like, come on now. Well, I guess it depends on your house, but in a general sense, yeah, I mean, I'm willing to go as far as to say that. You know what I mean? Which is how it is in my case. I'm like I would say, lower middle class. That's just me. Struggling, but not like struggling to the point of we might lose the house, but just regular, just like normal people stuff. You know what I mean? And I see one of my favorite games. It's easily in the top 3, if not top 3, top 5 easily favorite games of all time. Because damn it, Skyrim's amazing. And I see a remastered edition in the mod system, and I'm thinking of the potential, but then I overanalyze it and see, okay, let's assume if the mod system wasn't a thing, and hypothetically, if I don't like any of the mods for whatever reason, which is a possibility, just like how some people don't like Fallout like myself, even though on a content, perspective, I acknowledge it's amazing, but then on a gameplay level, it's just not for me, you know what I mean? So there's two sides to the coin here. There's multiple ways of interpreting what makes a good game and a bad game. I'm not saying all of them are the right ways, but I mean, tell that to the people that say a game sucks because the gameplay sucks. I mean, that like tell that to the masses, why don't you, and see how they respond. But like seriously, like the way, because again, I know from experience that is possible. Because me personally, like I said with the Fallout thing, I literally liked none of those mods, and I was searching for ages. I spent like I don't even know how many hours searching for mods that I could get, because you can only have, I think, on Fallout like 2 GB worth of mods. Okay, sorry, I paused there. I thought I heard something. Okay, but yeah, but like, yeah, and I literally couldn't find anything good except for that Godzilla mod. And the only reason I got that is because I'm a fan of Godzilla. Let's hypothetically, if I wasn't a fan of Godzilla, nothing would have been good. Like, can you imagine that, having all those mods and not a single damn one is good
Just,
for a
just
person?
because
Again, it's a
is
matter
more
of opinion.
populous
It
and
is
all
a
the other
matter of
mods are good
opinion,
too.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it is a matter of opinion, but still, like, you got to look at it both from your perspective, like the labor, and I understand that and acknowledge that. But then you also got to take into account the other side. Well, what if they're poor? What if they do what I just did and they already have the game, and they overanalyze it and basically see it as a 5-year-old game remastered with better graphics and a mod system, which may or may not be good. That one's kind of like you're gambling at this point on that particular aspect, like, because for me with Fallout, I did not like the mod system. I couldn't get into it because the one mod I liked, I'd have to pay money to use it because DLC. So, and I don't like Fallout enough to even get that, so I got SOL on that one. Which, by the way, if there's a freaking which, by the way, on that note, if there's a Godzilla mod for Skyrim Special Edition, I know that's probably not going to be a thing because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, fighting Godzilla with swords, little weird, but I think that would be cool. Somebody make it happen if it hasn't, please and thank you. But like, hashtag Godzilla in Skyrim. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, yeah,
Want to happen.
but seriously, I mean, it depends. Like the way I'm seeing it is because of my experience with the Fallout mod system. Is there is a possibility that that mod system may not be for me in Skyrim, and that all I'm getting, that I believe is of value, is a 5-year-old game, which granted, just because it's old does not take away from the content and how awesome it is and how much more effort it has gone into it compared to some of the modern day games, especially compared to fucking Call of Duty. I'm sorry, Call of Duty, but you don't put any effort into your games like Bethesda. Fuck you.
No, put in anything into your
Like,
games,
but to be fair, Call of Duty is a FPS, as where Skyrim's a open world RPG, so there is kind of a difference here. So I mean, it's probably not a fair comparison, and I'll admit that's kind of a bad comparison, but still, whatever. It's a bad
Call of
comparison, but
Duty's
I'm not
definitely
wrong.
insane.
They're on two different levels, but like, like seriously, is
$60 for a game. That's just
yeah, like
math.
60
That's
bucks for basically a
not the main
5-year-old
whole
game
thing
with an
here.
added mod system, which may or may not be good depending on the person and what they're into, and blah 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 blah, like I stated, and just better graphics.
That's like
I mean, I
some
mean, I
games
mean,
you're gonna
I
charging
mean,
$30 for it or
hypothetically, what if
something.
all the mods I do not like? Let's say if I bought it right now, okay, hypothetically, and I did not like any of the mods at all, just hypothetically here, and I paid 60 bucks for it up front. Then basically I just got a 5-year-old game just graphically remastered. I might as well just not even buy it and just stick with the PS3 version I already have, because it'd be the same shit. And actually, in all honesty, I saw some screenshots on the Xbox homepage, and maybe that they're not entirely accurate. Maybe the actual game is different, and maybe I should look up Let's Plays, and maybe I'll come back to this point and change it accordingly. But as far as I can see, it doesn't even look any different graphically than the first one, except for maybe the mushrooms. The mushrooms look a little bit more mushroomy, but like,
Mushroomy.
yeah, like I don't know, whatever. Shut up. But overall, it looks the same. You know what I mean? Like, And maybe there could be higher draw distance, maybe because render distance because Xbox. So maybe you could see farther out. So I mean in that aspect, you might got a point that it could be graphically. I mean so you could see more.
The
I mean
is
you
binding
might
on
got
there.
that going
Very
for you,
small leg.
kind of like. But like other than that, it's like come on now. So like the
Very
graphics,
small leg.
and actually, in all honesty, even graphics, believe it or not, are kind of a matter of opinion. Because there's games that are released in this modern era, within the last 5 or 10 years, that I think have worse graphics than Ocarina of Time from the N64. I mean, so even graphics, that's kind of sketchy because that's a matter. I've heard multiple people say that they would rather have N64 graphics than some of the newer graphics for whatever reason. Well, especially Ocarina of Time, because Ocarina of Time was phenomenal. Like, I mean, literally, I'm not kidding. And this may just be me. Like, and this might be, and I might be biased here, because if you want to be in an argument, you want to be a professional debater, you gotta admit your bias. At least, that way people can take it with a grain of salt.
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, you get so this might be a slight bias here, but I love Ocarina of Time. I played it on the N64, loved it, and I saw like the 3DS version, and oh my God, the graphics were terrible. They were terrible. I,
Hurtable.
I don't know how you fucked that up, but you done did it. You done fucked it up.
He's biased right in the middle, so I mean, the thing.
I
Hurtable.
so that's the thing. Is like why would I pay $60 for a game that I already have just for graphical improvement, which may or may not be the case depending on reasons. Like I'll give you even another example. I played the original Final Fantasy X from PS2, which I love. Thank you, Square Enix. That was, I think, the best Final Fantasy of all time. I like that. My opinion. I like Tidus. I like Yuna. I like Lulu. I like the story arc. I like Sin, which that's a badass name for a villain. That really makes you feel like, oh my God, it's Sin. And like, especially if you're religious, it kind of, like, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's a
That's
badass
so
fucking
wrong.
villain. That is a badass villain in every sense of the word. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck. That's a badass. And you know what I
So
mean? And then the
mean.
love story, like Square Enix is like the Japanese version of Bethesda. Like they get their shit right most of the
They
time.
made
Like
some pretty good games,
they made
especially
some
with
damn good
Hitman and
games
stuff.
when they were in their prime, which
Hitman,
was
let's
in the
not forget about
PS2
Hitman.
era, which I think was their prime. They made some damn good games. Kingdom Hearts, the Final Fantasy, like in their prime, they were literally the Japanese version of Bethesda, like with like their version of it's a Japanese Skyrim basically is what Final
Where the
Fantasy
pop
X is to me.
guys, motherfuckers, did something good for once.
Yeah. Oh wow, come on now. But no,
Sorry,
seriously, Bethesda, like,
really.
I mean, again, like, outside of that one excuse, which I understand the labor because you have to go through development. I understand that, but aside from that, it's still the same basic game. And also, I want you to think about this. Have you seen the Skyrim community? You will make bank by selling it for 20 but you will still have the entire fan base buying it. You'll still make up your money and probably then some. I don't give a fuck because again, to be fair, even though you're adding better graphics in a mod system, at the end of the day, at the fundamentals of it, the core, it's still a 5-year-old game. It can't be that hard to remake. I mean, you've done it once, you can do it again probably faster, you know. Unless I'm just again, I'm not a developer, so I could admit I might be wrong here. I acknowledge that. I will gladly acknowledge that. But still, come on now, 60 bucks, no, no, no. Like that's the only reason why I'm not buying it, at least until it price drops, is because overanalyzing it, the graphics, depending on the person, because graphics is actually a matter of opinion, like a lot of things these days. That could argue because again, back to the Final Fantasy X things. I actually didn't finish that up. I actually bought the remastered version since I do have the original one, but I also bought the remastered edition, which was actually the sole reason I bought a PS3 because I'm an Xbox guy. That was the only reason I bought a PS3 is because I heard they were re-releasing it for PS3, and because this was before the PS4 was announced. I think they were like, oh, we're gonna remaster Final Fantasy X, 10-2 all in one disc. You know what I mean? And better and of course nostalgia kicked in and it's psychological. I had to fucking have it. I begged my dad. I was like, "Get me the worst PS3 console. It could be like a 32 gig. I don't care. As long as it plays it, I'll take the worst one because that's all I wanted the console for. As I knew I would never play that console aside from that. Little did I know he would buy me a 500 gigabyte console that came with The Last of Us, which by the way is a fantastic game. Go play it. Go buy it. It's 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece. Oh my god, like every time I cry. Like even after
I
six,
cry every time.
no, even after 6 playthroughs where you've literally memorized the story and you know what's coming, you know when the sad moments happen, you still shed a single tear, even after your walls, internally are built. Like, you know what I mean? You're prepared for it because it's still emotional, and it's literally the only game I have ever played. And I love Mass Effect. I put 500 hours into Mass Effect. I put more into Mass Effect than I have in any of the Elder Scrolls games combined. I just love Mass Effect to holy hell. But even with Mass Effect, I skip the cutscenes because after I've seen them, I'm like, oh, just give me to the gameplay. Just give me to the gameplay. I want to play the game. Blah blah blah. Last of Us. They give you the option to skip it. You can't even so much as touch the damn button to skip it. You're like, they're so good. Like, that's the one game where I refuse to skip cutscenes because, oh my god, just the story is just so good. I'm having a fucking mental orgasm
Like Peter
right
Griffin right there. It's so comfortable.
That's not Peter Griffin. That's Brian Griffin, like with the chocolate thing. Like,
no,
eat it
it's
because
not, you fucking dumbass.
that's Brian. That's Brian Griffin.
No, it's not. On the couch when Peter's high, he's like, this couch is so comfortable. Look it up.
Yeah, but there's also Brian Griffin where he's like, I love chocolate, but I can't eat it because I'll get fat. But it's so good.
That part. But I'm talking about the one where Peter's high on the couch and he's like stretching around and shit. He's like, it's so comfortable.
That one I don't think I saw, and if I did, I don't remember it. But I do remember the Brian thing. That's what it. But anyway, back to the point here back to the point here. Last of Us is a masterpiece. Go buy it. I actually. Because I will admit I had a bias at first. Because when I heard Last of Us, I'm like, oh, it's a zombie game. Therefore it sucks because I hate zombie games usually because they're all copy and paste. So I'll admit I stereotyped, but it came with the console and I went, I might as well play it. It's the only game I have right now because my dad didn't get me the game that I wanted, Final Fantasy, up front, so I played it, and. So I played Last of Us because it's like I need a break in the console. I mean, you don't just get a new console and not play it at least for a little bit the day. You know what I mean? So come on now. So I was like, oh, you know what? Okay. And it was also give me time to get used to the controller since, I did play PS1, PS2, but, being a Xbox guy as well and the 360 and, now the One, you tend to get used to the, so you got to kind of get a little used to it. And the controllers tend to be, even the big ones, a little bit smaller than the, so... I mean, I think Xbox is better controllers, my opinion, but that's just a controller. That has nothing to do with the game. That's just hand comfortability. That doesn't mean dick. But anyway, played it, loved it. I did a complete 180 and said this is the only zombie game I will ever play. I was like, can there be a Last of Us 2? Can that be a thing, please? I was like, I want that to be a movie. Please make it a movie.
He played Walking Dead and he loved it.
I hated Walking Dead. I had it free with gold, like the Telltale games, and I hated it. It sucked ass. I hate The Walking Dead.
So what is your opinion on the Walking Dead fan base, like with the Walking Dead, shows?
I cannot comment on the fan base, and I cannot comment on the shows because I will admit same bias as I had with Last of Us. I refuse to watch anything zombie unless it's Last of Us, because Last of Us won me the fuck over.
You're just gonna be biased.
Oh yeah, I'll admit it. I'll be totally biased, but at least I'm honest about my bias and that I refuse. At least I'm honest about it. Like there's people out there that won't even acknowledge they're biased, and you try to. At least I'm acknowledging that I won't listen to you. I mean, or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, back to the point here. The reason why I bought the PS3 because I keep getting sidetracked here, but I guess that's quality content. But I don't fucking know. Anyway.
I don't fucking know.
Anyway, I got the Final Fantasy X-10 2 HD remaster for the PS3 eventually, and the first thing I found myself saying was, and I did acknowledge this, that maybe this is just my nostalgia kicking in and my bias for the original, but god damn it, these graphics suck ass. And I was like, it feels like I'm watching Kingdom Hearts in Final Fantasy X because it looked like Kingdom Hearts graphics. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? Yeah, because the thing is when I found myself playing the Final Fantasy X-10-2 HD Remaster Edition, and I was commenting on the graphics, I was like, these graphics are worse. I don't know how the fuck you fucked that up. Uh, Same thing, and I'm also a Kingdom Hearts fanboy, so again, same thing. I got the Kingdom Hearts remixes for PS3. I did the exact opposite. I was like, these graphics are better because it actually looks like fucking Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, how the fuck do you fuck up the graphics in Final Fantasy but not on Kingdom Hearts? I don't see how they did that. I don't know. I don't know if it just I don't fucking know. I just point being here is like due to internal bias and all this other bullshit. Point being is the
Going
graphics
against a lot
themselves
of shit.
is a
Yeah.
matter of opinion. So and then again, like I said with my example that I stated with the mod system, and this is my experience, it could be different from person to person here, but all these analogies and comparisons being said, like again, why buy a $60 game for a game that might be graphically worse, possibly because of the analogies I said, and again, bias and all that other bullshit comes into account. So the possibility for a less graphically impressive, in that person's opinions, game, and also a possibly shitty mod system. Again, depends on if there's shit there that you like, and if you add more, I don't know. But we're talking about at release, since for the Xbox One anyway, which is the console I want to buy it on, it's not released yet at this current point in time. But it's like a couple days away, actually, I think. But still. So why? And again, so why would I risk that when I have a perfectly good 5-year-old copy? Well, I shouldn't say 5-year-old copy, but like the game itself is 5 years old. But you know what I'm saying? Why would I rebuy the game when it could be literally the exact same game just on a different console? Like, no, I'm not gonna buy a $60 version of that same exact game because again, hypothetically, if the mod mechanic in like in Fallout 4, in my case, doesn't suit me, and there's no mods at all that I want, then it's literally the same game that's 5 years old, just on a different console. So why would I pay $60 when I paid $40 for Skyrim the Legendary Edition? I mean, of course, it was a couple years old by that time. Actually, I think I got it like two or 3 years ago. So it's about. God damn it, I don't even remember. But point being here is that I bought the game brand new, Skyrim Legendary Edition, for $40, DLC and all that shit. It was a physical copy, but still. And now let's have the assumption here that the mod system, does not work. Or I shouldn't say doesn't work, but sucks. Like there's no mods again, and you're just getting, the stuff that's actually of value to you is the actual game itself. The DLCs which are included. Thank you, by the way, and you know what I mean. It's just the stuff that we already had in the original. And then again, due to the bias and all that stuff, the possibility that it could look graphically worse, possibly, highly unlikely, but possibly. And if it doesn't look worse, what if it just feels and looks exactly the same? Because that is possible. Maybe to somebody who's not looking hard. What if it looks exactly the same? What if people, super critique that shit? I mean, again, Bethesda, you need to look at it from the consumer's point of view as well. Because to be a good company, I'm not saying you're not a good company. I'm just saying this is how you appeal to consumers. And I can speak for consumers because I am one, and I can speak for gamers because I am one. I've been gaming for like my entire life, pretty much. Is if you want to appeal to us, you need to not only look at it from your side, but also look at it from the other side, and basically kind of like do like a discourse, if you know what I'm talking about here, and see both sides. What's the justification for this view, and then find a middle ground here. So like in this case, my middle ground here, while I understand the labor needed to make this new game for reasons. But then you guys also need to acknowledge my side as well, and notice that the mod system for a specific person that might love the game, that still doesn't excuse the fact that that person who loves the game and already has a copy is rebuying it already. Let's assume that the populace already has it, and it's just somebody rebuying it for whatever reason. Let's probably from the mod system. What if in their opinion, the mod system was a joke, and there was nothing that they wanted on it. Especially if they're a PC guy and have the Nexus and all that shit. You know what I mean? Just like, come on now. So, like, and all you get is a remade game for a different console. Just that is my point. And I might be rambling, and I might be kind of repeating the same points again, probably, because I do tend to do that. I'll admit that. But it's also to further solidify the point and to ingrain it into your head, because the more you hear it, the more likely it's to stay in your head, and you think about it and you catch on to it rather than just dumping it immediately. It's like with basketball or anything you do in life, because of how the brain has connections and shit. The more you hear it and the more you do something, the stronger that connection grows, and the stronger and the more likely it stays in your head. So it's a tactic to help you guys sink in my side, or at least my views, and help you think about it more and understand it. So that's one of the reasons why I do a little bit longer and different style angry rants, and I kind of repeat myself a couple times, especially if it was like in the first one.
Well,
Yeah.
come on, man.
I mean, it is like a solidification tactic, if that makes any sense.
That makes any sense.
But whatever, you get what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, I'll admit I probably repeated a lot of the points over and over again, but probably with different analogies and stuff, but the same basic thing. But that's because, again, like I said, I'm already repeating that, but whatever. But again, moral of the story here is Bethesda is, as a guy, as a gamer, as somebody that is a member of the community here, I disagree with your price point, because I understand that the labor you need to do on it to make it, I understand that, but then you also gotta acknowledge that what if the mod system, like for me in Fallout 4, what if other people like me, many people, don't like it? There's nothing there. And we're talking about at release, because when you buy a game at release, you're paying for the content right there at that moment. So if the game sucks, you know what I mean? Because like Angry Joe, I do take pricing into account. Like, if I spent $5 for a game that's shit, I mean, I would probably give it a higher rating, because I would take into account those $5, and you kind of in the ideology of you get what you pay for, like, you know what I mean? But if it was like, like, if I bought Skyrim for, I mean, it's already 10 out of 10, but let's say if I bought it, $5, like at release in November 11th, 2011. And it was a $5 game, and it had all that shit. It wouldn't even be a 10 out of 10. It would be like a freaking 20 out of 10, because holy shit, that much content for you see what I'm saying here? But like $60 in the higher the price point gets, it's a, you know what I mean? It's like, because eventually there's a limit to where it's like, really, I paid this much for this? I mean, there is a cap. There is a limit to how much you can put a price on something before the masses go, that's bullshit. Like, I mean, it is basic psychology here, so that's kind of my point here, is like, for me, it's like $60 for a game that I spent $40 for, and that I already have, just to rebuy it for a different console for possibly better graphics, and that's iffy. And then the mod system, which again, like I said, is iffy. Like it is overpriced, Bethesda. It really is. And like I said, I understand that you need to do the labor to remake it for better graphics and all that bullshit, like I already said probably 5 million times already. Like, I understand that, but you need to understand our side, and, the what if we don't like the mod system, because, again, we're doing it up front here. Like, we're paying for what is at release, pre-order and shit. So what if we don't like what is there? What if the graphics are not as good as we thought they'd be? Because, I mean, Skyrim, like, when it was first released, was an overly hyped game, and I'm surprised you lived up to the hype, let alone surpassed it, in my opinion, because I do side with Angry Joe in that sense, because, god damn it, you did a damn good job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing here, is I hope that you, as a company here, me as a member of the community and as a consumer who is buying your stuff, I hope you can, because obviously feedback is important. We can all agree on that. Feedback from your fan base, is always good, so you can further improve on stuff that they think is a little missed. That way you can make your product better. That way you have a more growing fan base and a more growing money. That's the thing. If you want to make the most amount of money, don't be like EA and Activision. That's all I need to say, is just don't DLC whore, especially like with Activision's doing with Destiny. Don't do that, because the only reason I got Destiny is because I'll be honest, it feels like fucking Halo, and I love Halo, so there was a little bit of bias in there. I'll admit that. That's the only reason I got it, and also I had multiple friends get it that already had it, so it's kind of like two birds with one stone. I get to feel like I'm playing Halo just with like different graphics and stuff, and I'm playing with friends that I mean, it was kind of like, there were reasons to back up why I wanted it rather than just, oh, I felt like I wanted to get it, therefore I got it. There was reasons to support that, so that's my thing,
What's your reason
Bethesda,
to
is
buy
that
it?
at the end of the day
Example.
here, even though I've been rambling, repeating all the shit, is I think that you should reduce it to $40. I want to say 30 and lower, actually, in all honesty, because again, assuming let's assume possibly, because this is opinionated, so let's assume that the graphics are just as good, if not possibly worse, because of bias and stuff. So let's assume the graphics are the same as the first one and possibly slightly worse. I don't assume them getting too much worse, but still worse. Actually, no. Let's just assume the same graphics, because there's no way in hell you guys would let it get worse. So fuck that. Let's just assume they're the exact same graphics from the original to the special edition. Let's just assume that. Okay, and that means that obviously since the DLC content is included, that if you exclude the mod system, let's leave that out for now, it is literally the same exact game for $60 on a new console. When you could go buy the exact same game, and again, let's just assume the mod system wasn't a thing yet. Let's just leave that out and just review the game itself, the base game. Why would I buy a $60 version of the exact same game, graphically, everything? Let's just assume when I could go buy it for $40, actually probably less now because of the years that's passed, like let's say $20 or something, for the legendary edition on PS3 or something. Same exact, I mean, just different content, like again, value, because again, what has more value? Skyrim at $60 or Skyrim for 20? Because you have to take in the price point. Obviously more value for 20. It's more value on the $20 thing because that's the exact same content for less. Therefore, you get the concept of value. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Is excluding the mod system because the graphics is kind of up to interpretation. Just that's kind of a matter of opinion. So the base game without the mod system, let's assume, because this is probably what it might be, the graphics will look exactly the same. Why would anybody buy it if they're economically smart, buy the Xbox One or PS4 version outside of being nostalgic and fanboys? Like actual people that actually are like me and overanalyzing it. Why would we do that? When
What's
we
a
could go
good
buy a
reason for
PS3
buying it?
version
Like
and get the
besides that.
exact same shit. And then
Or nostalgia
then
and
okay,
fanboy.
then now let's add the mod system. And again, let's assume that the mod system, depending on person to person, let's say some people find it shit and they never use it. Then they're gonna do what I would do and disregard that, since even though we paid for it, that if we don't use it, we're not gonna include it in our final verdict because we're gonna see it as useless. At least that's how I'd do it. It's probably wrong, but that's how I'm doing it right now for the sake of the argument here. Then we're gonna just review it as the base game versus the base game back then, or like what we could get right now on the legendary. Like, you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Like, do you see what my side, the over analytics, that's kind of seeing past your bullshit? No offense, I'm kind of being blunt here. I'm not trying to be an ass, but god damn it, I love this game, so I'm trying to trying to be reasonable here, but it's kind of hard because god damn it, it needs to be cheaper. But see, so that's my side, and I get your side, so I'm willing to compromise, even though I think it should be fucking lower, because the game is 5 years old.
But
I
it's
get it. The
old and
community is rabid for this game because there's people that have put thousands of hours into this. I get it, but that's not an excuse to take advantage of their money. Come on now. Although you're a company, so I understand why, but come on now. So, please, Bethesda. I might be sounding like an ass. I might be repeating the same points, but again, as I explained why I did that, I mean, but I do this out of love. Like what I did with Colonial Marines, like what I did with Blacklist when I sent emails to Ubisoft about how shit the game is and how it can be blah blah blah. We talk shit, or at least people like me, this might not be the case for everybody, but people like me that care for games, that care for companies like you guys, because you made, like, because you, and with Doom, because you made Doom, or published Doom anyway, and like, and Elder Scrolls, and Fallout, and all that shit. People that really care might appear as assholes, and some people that take it personally because they love the series so much, like like I kind of did, I kind of took it a little personal when Ubisoft fucked up Blacklist because I loved the previous
Oh
five.
yeah,
So I
same.
took that a little personal because I mean you fucked with my face. Any Mass Effect fan here. I'm gonna use this as an analogy. Those of you that have played it know where I'm going with this already by me mentioning Blacklist and fucking up a game. You already know where I'm going with this. But like imagine your favorite game, in my case, or favorite game series. At least two or three, if not more. You know, they do every game phenomenal. First game, amazing, because obviously you have to take into account that it's the first game in the series, they're their first whack at it. It's not going to be perfect, so you got to take considerations and be lenient. It's the second and third time and beyond that you need to start getting a little bit more harsher, where if they make the same mistakes, then you got to treat it harshly, because it's like with Assassin's Creed. Like the very first Assassin's Creed had really iffy mechanics. It was really weird. I played it. It was I shouldn't say it's, but it was a little weird. Like, you know what I mean? But again, it was their first time making a game with the story of the animus, their first time setting up the world. I mean, you can't expect them to be perfect. But the fact is up until recently, the Assassin's Creed series, like with 2 and Brotherhood, they got better, and you can see it. Like, the mechanics got better, the combat got easier. Like, they made improvements to the system that made it more user-friendly. So, that's what I'm saying here. Is like with Mass Effect 1, for a first whack, phenomenal. It set up the world great with the codex, which you get more codex entries as you do side missions and stuff, so you can get the world. You can learn about like the first contact war when the humans first met the first alien species, which was the Turians, and all like there's this rich world that is optional. You could completely skip the codex and just play the main game, or if you really want to divulge into it, you can pause the game and have a good read. Because believe it or not, it's interesting to read that shit. Interesting to read about the Krogan rebellions and about the Genophage and how they basically, in a way, got fucking genetically neutered because Solarians and Turians were assholes. Like, I mean, it's rich lore, just like you guys, Bethesda, that you've done in the Elder Scrolls games, the rich lore. And then in Mass Effect 3, they fucked it up with the ending. That hurt my soul. Because I played Mass Effect 1, bought all DLC, phenomenal. Same thing in Mass Effect 2. I thought it was even better. More streamlined mechanics. They made it more difficult. Because here's the problem with Mass Effect 1, even though I love it. Better than number 3, in all honesty. But here was the problem. Is that if you imported your game, like if you beat it and started a new playthrough with that character on the same game, you kept all of your shit. So imagine beating the game on the easiest difficulty, getting the best equipment in the game, and then restarting it on the hardest difficulty with the best equipment. Like literally, because if you know what you're doing, you can literally get the best equipment in the game not even halfway through it. Maybe a fourth of the way through it if you do side missions. If you just do the main missions only, oh, you're not going to get it. But if you do the stuff that I do, since I'm a fanboy, and do every single side mission possible, I guarantee you by a fourth or halfway through, you'll get the best shit in the game. If not the best, you'll get pretty damn close. And that's on the easiest difficulty. Like you could become like a millionaire and get the maximum amount of credits if you know what you're doing. I mean, you got to know some exploits. I shouldn't say they're exploits. It's just go do missions, find the best equipment. If there's equipment, if equipped all your dudes with the best equipment, except for that one person that has to die. Spoiler alert: somebody dies on Vermeer, so one of your crew is going to die. So equip that one person that you want to die. With nothing. Just leave them with the worst shit. Don't even bring them on missions if you don't want to. But all the other characters equipped with the best shit, and then sell everything that's not as good. You literally get max amount of credits within the first 10 hours of the game. You can literally get 999 million. You can literally max that out really quick on the easiest difficulty. You can get like maximum creds like that. Like, it's ridiculous how easy it is. Why they took that out in number 2 is kind of beyond me. I kind of like that, but whatever. You know what I mean? And then in Mass Effect 2, they actually added. Well, actually, no, I've got sidetracked with the equipping. Actually, no. Back to what I was actually going to say is that there's the best gun in the game, which is a Spectre Master Gear. Which are Spectre Master Gear weapons, which are the best guns in the game in Mass Effect 1. You can equip frictionless material. And if you literally, and I'm not kidding, get two frictionless materials, because there's three upgrade slots. Two for like frictionless material to reduce, overheating, because it's not like you have ammo, it just like it overheats like a plasma rifle from Halo, except there's no, you can only have 100 shots. It just imagine that on a plasma rifle, instead of it being 100, it was an infinity symbol, and that's basically how you fired in the game. Is you wait till it overheated, cool down, then you keep shooting. Like, for those of you that don't know Mass Effect, that's literally how it was. It was basically infinite ammo. But, just with the reload, basically. But it's still infinite ammo. If you know what you're doing, which obviously I'm a fanboy, and I do, two of the upgrade slots are, upgrading your damage, upgrading your, accuracy, upgrading all that shit, but the third slot is for ammo type. Do you want incendiary rounds, inferno rounds? So again, they can do damage and all, but those are the rounds. But like the first two slots are for the actual gun itself, not for the rounds. So like imagine equipping 2 out of 2 upgrade slots with frictionless material, and not like frictionless material 1 or 2, but the best frictionless material, which is 10. You can literally get bottomless clip. You can just fire forever and just breeze through missions on insanity. Because I have done this and have proved it, and as soon as that game becomes backwards compatible, I will stream it and I will prove this. You can literally breeze through the hardest difficulty in 10 hours by beating it on the easiest difficulty, using the exploits that I know, getting the best shit in the game, and then just replaying it and changing the difficulty, and then you get an instant achievement within 10 hours. Easy achievement, beat the game on hardest difficulty. It was that fucking easy. It was not even a challenge. Okay, it was kind of a challenge, but literally, if you took your time and you dedicated to do all the missions and leveled your dude up and did all that shit, learned how to equip all your dudes with the best shit, sell the shit that was not as good, know how to earn your credits, and then buy the best armor in the game, even the bosses couldn't kill you. Unless you were so stupid to not be in cover and just run up to them like a moron. But if you even have a little bit of strategy, you were practically unkillable even on the hardest difficulty. Again, unless you weren't being an idiot. Literally, it was too damn easy. Mass Effect 2, you actually needed some skills because they added, like thermal clip mechanic. Technically you had thermal clips in the first game if you read the lore, but it was different. But they actually added like thermal clips where you needed you had 60 rounds of clip and you had like 600 rounds per gun. And if you ran out of ammo for that gun, you had to switch to another gun. And if you played on Insanity, that shit was hard. It wasn't like, oh, you can beat it and then replay it with the best shit in the game. They went fuck that, and it actually, you needed to, number one, have strats. You need to be a good damn aimer, because if you missed even a single bullet, that could mean the difference of life and death, and depending on how good you are at an aim. Like, literally, that shit was hard. Mass Effect 3, same problem. Because they added, you know what I mean? The differences in mechanics, which I actually hated the fact that they did that at first, but I understood. But over time, as I started analyzing it and critiquing it, I was like, that's actually a good idea that they did what they did with Mass Effect 2 and take out the bottomless clip thing. Because that way it adds challenge. Instead of me beating the game and getting all my equipment on a second playthrough and just breezing through the game, it actually, so I understand. So I actually approved of that. It actually encouraged skill rather than just knowing how to exploit. That they patched some things, which I actually did appreciate and made the game better, in my opinion. Then, you know what I mean? But again, played Mass Effect 1. Loved it. For a first-time game, fantastic. Had great lore with the Codex, First Contact War. Gave you a lot of info about the alien species, about, the Omni tools, like everything. Everything you could have needed to know or want to know is there. It is quickly accessible at the touch 2 buttons. Well, actually more, depending on how far down. You get what I'm saying, though. It's instant access, almost. Mass Effect 2, again, same thing. Great story, great lore. The lore is still all there. Codex, Mass Effect 3, same thing, but the ending was complete shit. Like, have you seen the ending? And then they had to release a DLC to patch the ending, and arguably that DLC made it worse because, number one, it filled the plot holes of Mass Effect 3's original ending, but then they added slideshows that reflected your decisions. Like, if you cured the genophage, you get a picture of a Krogan holding their baby. That's all you could give me was a picture. A picture. I spent all those hours playing Mass Effect 1, doing all those decisions, and importing that save to Mass Effect 2. So all my decisions were reflected in 2, and it changed the game because, Mass Effect 2 and blah, blah, blah. The same thing in Mass Effect 2. All those decisions imported in number 3. And then all those decisions that I made throughout number 3, all the way up to the ending. And all you could give me was a slideshow. Not even a cinematic. Not even a shitty cinematic. It was a picture. That's
Not even
all
a
you
GIF,
gave
man.
me.
Not even a GIF.
Not
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 even a
y-
GIF.
y- not even a GIF. Just to throw it in there, like not even, like nothing. So it's literally come down to basically. Here's your two choices here: is do you want the better ending, which is the one without the extended cut DLC that fixed it, which has plot holes but doesn't give you the bullshit of like all I got was some pictures that reflected my shit. So it's basically either it's basically a choice of do you want the more satisfying ending with plot holes, or do you want the more continuity, more make sense story satisfied because they said fuck you, you don't get a cutscene of this Krogan. I mean, you don't like they show you what you want to see, but they don't even have it as a, you know what I mean? It's not a cutscene. So like they tease you. So it's a choice of do you want the arguably better ending with gaping plot holes that makes no sense, or do you want the shittier ending but it actually fills the plot holes, but they tease you with shit that you should have gotten as a cutscene with pictures. That's literally what it is. Both endings are shit. No matter how you look at it, the ending of the game was just no, it sucked. That hurts because not only did they have to fix the ending, they didn't even fix it. They made it worse. How do you do that? And they've even made it worse because they even made it worse by, with the indoctrination theory, which literally, if you do research, there was hours and hours and hours and hours of freaking research practically proving it was a thing, whether the developers designed it that way or not. There, on purpose or by what? That's not the point. The point is it was all there, and they said no. That is not the case. Everything that you think is happening at the final ending that is in Shepard's mind is not in his mind. That actually happened. Which makes no sense. Because again, think about it. There like the very I know I'm getting into a fairly big tangent here, but this is again to solidify my point here of like how this shit can really fuck up. Like this is the point here. Like again, there was this one part in Mass Effect 3 at the very end, and I am spoiling here, I'm sorry, but people that haven't watched it or seen it, whatever, sorry, but there's a point in the game where you're at the final push to get into that beam that beams you up to the Citadel so you can activate the Crucible. Like literally, you're on the final 5 minutes of the game, right? And literally, and it's a scripted event. So if you do not move, you can literally watch the Reapers, which is what they're called, or Harbingers specifically, who's camping right next to the beam, literally instantly disintegrate. Not even to ashes. There's not even ashes. They're just literally non-existent. Like they're gone. No ashes, no nothing, like they're instantly gone. No trace of them whatsoever. You see all of your crew just slowly but surely die. But then because scripted, run, you get to a cutscene where the exact same thing happens to you. You get shot by the laser, but you don't instantly disintegrate at all. You just get up and took it like a badass with, you're limping. And your armor is charred, and your face is somewhat charred, but you're still walking with a pistol, shooting everything in sight, limping, still looking like a badass, and nobody thought that made sense because again, watch videos. There's proof of this where if you stand still and don't move on that scene, you can watch all of your guys fall down and instantly die where there's no trace. But on the indoctrination theory, because they say it multiple times throughout the game, Harbinger specifically, that he sees Shepard as a trophy because of what he's been through and how he's stood against the Reapers and done all this shit. If you played the games, you know what I'm talking about. So it would make sense that he actually lowered the intensity of the beam to stun him and knock him out, so they can do the final indoctrination attempt on his mind, when that would have been the final choice. Is that if you chose the destroy option, which was red, because if you played made the game, Renegade is red and Paragon is blue, so they kind of try to, mind fuck you there with how the control option's blue, so they kind of try to mind fuck you. You know what I mean? It made sense. And there's actually video evidence proving that on Shepard's eyes, if you choose the synthesis or control ending, his eyes change to the indoctrinated eyes, like, Elusive Man. There's actually proof that if you do not choose destroy, you actually become indoctrinated. There was proof, and they said, fuck that. They willingly said, fuck the indoctrination theory, we're not going to do it. All of what you did is all of those hours you spent making those theories has gone to waste because we're not going with it. Now the continuity of the story does not make any sense. Nothing in the ending made sense. Like, literally, they fucked it up in the worst possible way. Like, BioWare done fucked up. They done fucked it up. Like, and that pissed me off. Because I did lots of research on the indoctrination theory, and it made perfect sense. And it would have made for a badass, fourth game. He's brutally injured, and now you got to do some, rebel warfare, guerrilla warfare, and wait till he recovers, and then on, like, the final mission, somehow you make it through the bit, like, something. They could have done, I know that kind of would have been weird, and it would have been a different game, probably wouldn't have been that good. But at least on a continuity, aspect, it would have made sense. It would have did better. Instead of all of a sudden saying, oh, now we got Mass Effect Andromeda, Shepard's dead, we're in a new galaxy. Number one, hopefully they explain this in the game, but until I get the game and explain this, because I'm going to get the game no matter what, because it is Mass Effect, I'm a fanboy, I'll admit it, but if it sucks, I'm going to be pissed. But, I'm like, how the fuck are we in Andromeda now? Like, how does that make sense? We were in the Milky Way fight. Like, why? Like, I know you're a Pathfinder, trying to find a new home and shit, but the Reapers were in dark space, so I mean, they could have been, and again, Mass Effect 2 and shit. You destroy in Mass Effect 1, you stop them from coming through the Citadel relay and blah blah blah, and they have to actually travel to that galaxy and not just instantly teleport there. They actually got to do some FTL shit. I mean, again, you Mass Effect guys know what I'm talking about. So they could have possibly traveled through all of those galaxies, all of them, including Andromeda, which I think is the closest one. Who knows? Because it's not like we got a clear indication of how they got, which direction the Reapers came from. It could have been all directions. I don't know. Well, okay, probably not all directions, but still, I mean. Okay, sorry, my controller disconnected in my mic, but like, seriously, there's just some plot holes here that doesn't make sense. But anyway, the purpose is literally Bethesda. You need to listen to your consumer fan base. You need to take considerations, and you basically, moral of the story here is companies, especially Activision and EA, need to respect their consumer populace, the people that are making them the money they are, the people that are buying their shit. They need to take better care of their shit. EA and Activision especially, you need to quit your DLC whoring, make better fucking games, stop being asshole publishers. Bethesda, you good, you 100% legit. Like, I have no problem with you. Other than this one instance, I've had no issues with you. And Elder Scrolls Online, that one was a catastrophe. At least at release, that one kind of sucked. But then again, compared to them, you've had what I like to call anomalies, just like, a couple times and done. Like, it's not like Activision where almost every game they make is shit. But anyway. So again, rambling, making all these tangents, blah blah blah, to solidify a point, all this bullshit. I think you got the moral of the story here. Moral of the story here is please drop the price down. Like, I understand why you probably think it'd be justified, and I get as a business it makes sense, because your fan base will buy that shit no matter what, at least most of them, a good majority of them.
Taking advantage of
but if you do that, then you're taking advantage of them. You need to treat them with respect, just like they're treating you with respect, buying your shit, critiquing your shit, giving you advice, and blah 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 blah. Especially the Elder Scrolls community, because they're fucking rabid. They can be straight rabid. Especially like, have you seen like fan pages where like somebody will say like, oh, I'm an Imperial, and the other guy will say I'm a Stormcloak, and next thing you know, you have a freaking internet war. Like, have you seen that shit? Like, it gets fucking intense. I've seen it. I've been in those groups. I've seen it happen. I've watched the feed and as it updates like every second when somebody put like the comments, and it gets ridiculous, like the shit they do. Like if you say I'm a werewolf and this guy's a vampire, or I'm a I'm in the Dawn Guard, or I'm a like I mean like shit hits the fan. Like I mean it does. Like you have some of the most dedicated communities that I've ever seen. And thankfully, they're actually the good type of community for the most part, unlike like Call of Duty. I'm sorry, but like don't take advantage of us. Acknowledge our analogies and stuff in our side, as I am acknowledging your side of how much it took to probably make that game, and let's try and compromise here. Let's have the fan base, or at least the over analytical fan base, like myself, like you know what I mean. And you, the company Bethesda that made it. Let's work together. We let's try to understand your side. You try to understand our thoughts, and let's trying to find a price point we all agree on. Because $60 is not good. That is not a good price point. Especially, to be honest, if I'm correct though, the mod system is basically you taking all the mods that you think are awesome off the Nexus, mods that you think would be enjoyable, and then just kind of like putting them on the Xbox. But I mean, I don't really know the exact system, so I can't really give too much on it, and so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt here. But it's like, it's basically stuff already made by the community on Nexus and stuff. I mean, like, you just kind of like, pull some strings, and it's, I mean, again. But seriously, Bethesda, I do really, really hope that you, because I know you are, because I've seen your company, I've seen some of the like the behind the scenes of Skyrim, I've seen all the great work you've done, aside from a few anomalies here and there, like Elder Scrolls Online, which at the time when it was released was a catastrophe. I don't know about now, maybe it still is. A lot of people think it's like good God, but like holy crap, no. But again, every game company is not perfect. The human beings are not perfect, so it's one thing to have like one or two screw ups here and there. But it's different when the screw-ups are continuous, like with Ubisoft. Like, it was Blacklist, then it was Assassin's Creed Unity, then it was, like, Syndicate. Because for me, the Assassin's Creed series has been going AWOL. And now with the Assassin's Creed movie, which is sponsored by Ubisoft in the trailers, depending on how good that is, I mean, they're fucking everything up, it seems. They fucked up the Division, in my opinion. I know it's like a quasi-MMO and shit. I mean, I know it's like an MMO and shit, but fucking come on now. Like, damn. Like, I played the beta, it's fun, but goddamn, it's grindy as shit. It's a fun type of grindy, but it's still grindy. I mean, even if it's a fun type of grindy, I mean, it's still grinding. That shit can only be fun for so fucking long. On the beta, by the time it was right around the last day or two of it about to end, I was like, fuck this shit, it's boring. Even my friends were like, shit. Especially when you get the best guns in the game and you get the best loot. What's the point? What's the fuck of doing that unless you want to just be a narcissist and wreck people? Like, you see what I'm saying? Respect and effort are key. Effort in your games and respect for the community. So I hope that you can really, really soon, please, for the love of sweet Jesus, please. Because I was actually thinking about selling the Elder Scrolls Skyrim Legendary Edition on my PS3 version to get a little bit of money to buy the new one. But if I remember correctly, I think one of my friends actually... Wait, does he have... Oh, I'm going to talk to him because if he does have a PS3, or if he has like the shitty version of Skyrim... I'm saying shitty as in Skyrim without the DLCs. I'm not saying it is shitty. I'm just saying it's the shittier version. I'm not saying it's shitty. It's an announce. Fuck you. If you're trying to, shut up. I'm sorry. No, I apologize, Bethesda. I'm saying fuck you. I take that back. I take that back, Bethesda. But no, seriously, I might just give him that, and that way he can still play Skyrim because he loves Skyrim. So I'm gonna see if I can just probably just give that to a friend as in, oh, I'm getting another copy, so you know what, here you go, because it's still fully functional. I stopped playing it after a while since I'm an Xbox guy, so I mean I still have it here just in case I ever have one of those days to play it. But it's pretty much brand new still. So
it's fully functional vagina, yeah.
God damn it. Anyway. And anyway, here I just realized it's pretty much been me talking the whole time. As we're like the first rant, I mean, you were kind of jumping in there, Squid. Like, you have anything to
Yeah, no,
say?
I'm not speaking because actually I'm kind of feeling a little bit sick today. I don't know if it was something I ate or what's happening, but I mean, I'm not jumping in this like a lot recently because I'm feeling sick, and basically I don't want to ruin your whole mojo on Skyrim because I know how much of a feel you have for Skyrim and how much of a deep appreciation you have for Skyrim, the love and hate and stuff, and all those variables. So I'm just pretty much letting you handle it. I'm here as backup though, but I mean, yeah. Sorry for not speaking a lot.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
locked in for
no,
things.
it's fine. But yeah, Bethesda. Seriously, I urge you as a member of the community, as somebody who loves your games, because I got Doom 3 BFG, which was published by you guys, because it's made by ID and shit. I love Doom. I love Doom 2. I love Doom 3 BFG, especially Doom 3. Oh my god, yes. Doom 2016, played the demo. Haven't played the full game, but saw some Let's Plays, and I am sold. I will, for a fact, 100% fact, buy Doom 2016. So I will have all Dooms except for like some of the obscure ones, like Doom 64. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I'll basically have all the Dooms that actually matter, as far if that makes sense. And I gotta scroll Skyrim. I need to get Oblivion, because I actually had Oblivion for PS4, but then I kind of was like, did some research, and because I did I say PS4, but I don't remember. But I had Oblivion for PS3, and I had Shivering Isles and Knights of the Nine and all that. And then I kind of did some research, and I was like, wait a minute, on the Xbox 360, there's more DLCs here, since I'm not really a PC gamer. But on the, PS3, there's only one DLC, and that's Shivering Isles, I believe it was. Knights of the Nine is only exclusive to the PS3, Game of the Year edition, physical copy. So they basically kind of force you to buy a disc on that, as were Oblivion on the Xbox 360. You can buy the game digitally and buy all the DLC digitally, like Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles, and then some, like Wizards Tower, like, so I did actually end up selling Oblivion, and I've yet to buy it again on Xbox because reasons, but I do plan on getting Oblivion for Xbox 360 and all DLCs. That is, so I will be having that soon. Oh, probably not soon because Doom, Skyrim Special, all this other shit. But it will be on the to-do list. It is on towards the top. But I have all the quote unquote modern games that made you guys badasses, whether it be in the publishing aspect or the game developing aspect, like whatever. I do have all the games that where you guys proved that when you give it your best, you guys are like the biggest badasses in gaming. Okay, maybe not the biggest. I mean, that's kind of a matter of opinion, to be honest. Like, kind of, I mean, it could be dice. I don't know, but you get what I'm trying to say here. Is like, compared to most, especially Activision and EA, when you give it your best, you are the shit. You give so much detail, great story, great all that shit. So that's what I'm saying. I have respect for you because of what you've done, your history. You're amazing. So I think it's fair, because it is a two-way street. We can agree on this, that you should have respect for me and your community that made you what you are today, buying your games, giving you the money, funding you, all that shit. So it's fair for me to understand your points as for you to understand mine. So I hope that that you can draw it down back down to $40 instead, and possibly lower, but that's just me kind of, that's just my opinion, because again, the way I see it is, since I already have the game, that about $40, like I said earlier,
His
the way I
PS.
see it is that if I buy it, I'm just buying it for the mod system and buying it for the possible graphical update, not buying it, you know what I mean? So I think I should be paying for that, and obviously the labor that was included. So I would say more like 25, $30 actually. But again, for $40 is a decent compromise. I'll cap out there. Anything higher, and I draw the line here. But so I will not buy it until it does get decreased, which I know it will at some point, like all games do. But I just think as like an initial release, this is too far for the reasons I've stated. I hope you understand, Bethesda. I love your company. I will buy it for sure. It's just not at its current price point. I'm sorry, it's not worth it for me yet. I hope you understand. I do love you, Bethesda. I hope we can work something out here to where if you're not gonna lower the price immediately, hopefully within the next 2 months, because like, or sooner, please. But like, please, please, please lower the price ASAP. Like, I want to be able to compromise with you and work something out here. Like, like I might not be speaking for the community because maybe the community's okay with it, but then again, that depends on the person.
That's
If
the
they over,
community, and sometimes
it,
the community cannot think logically.
yeah, well, sometimes the community cannot think logically. I mean, the nostalgia is a factor, like I said with the Final Fantasy thing, where I just bought out of nostalgia, so psychology stuff aspect comes into play. If they go based off instinct rather than overanalyze it, like we have, and blah blah blah, like literally, like. So I can't
You
really
let
say I
emotions
speak for
take
the
over with
community because
nostalgia.
the community doesn't necessarily think logically at time. I mean, they can, but yeah, kind of iffy. But but I'm speaking for for logic's sake, and logically, what you're doing is somewhat of a ripoff. It's not like a
I want to
ripoff
give a lot of
ripoff,
rape.
but come on now. Like the Elder Scrolls fans deserve better, especially for like in my Elder Scrolls group. Everybody already had the game, and they decided to buy it just because it was special edition. So they basically have two copies now, unless some of them did sell them. But again, outside of the mod system, same game, 5 years old. I mean, again, I repeat, 5 years old.
And what about the people that don't even
It
have
doesn't. It
internet and then
no,
just want to
no,
buy on the
not
disc?
60
I
bucks.
mean, shit. Come on now.
Well, I shouldn't say 5 years old because it came out November 11, you know, 2011, and it's October, so we're about a month away from it being 5 years, but
For the sake of the
technically,
argument, let's just say it's 5 years. 'Cause
yeah, but
otherwise we're
for the
really
sake
close
of the
up
argument, since it's only like a month away, we're gonna say 5 years. Yeah, 5-year-old game. Like, I don't care if it has better graphics. I don't care if it has a mod system. And again, thinking about it from the fact that people like me and most of the fan base already have a copy. No, no, we should be paying for the graphical updates and the mod system, not for the actual base game, especially if we already have it and we plan on not selling our original copy, whether it be to give it to a friend or whatever reason, or just to play our old characters since they can't cross over because, reasons that you've stated, you know what I mean? Just to kind of, be like, this is what I am on this console, this is what, you know what I mean? Just like, kind of come back and remember, oh, these classic graphics, I mean, just, again, nostalgia, you know what I mean? Like, we should be paying for the nicer graphics if that's a thing, and for the mod system. That's all we should be paying for. And again, the development and stuff. So again, I think a decent cap, logically, I would say is actually $30. Actually, that's where I'd put it. But again, I love your company. You've made Oblivion. You made the Doom series. Willing to, as a loyal member of your community to extend that to 40, but I think $30 would actually be the proper price point. Because especially for me, since again the game was released for a little while, for I think about a year or two or so, maybe 3 years actually by the time I did get my Legendary Edition for PS3. But I bought mine brand new for 40 damn bucks. It was a physical copy, so if it was like a digital download, it might be a little bit more, but that still doesn't excuse the fact $40 for the same shit. So again, if I'm paying for the same game twice, and the only difference is a mod system and a graphical update, I should be paying for the upgrades, not for the actual game itself. You see what I'm saying? Hence why I think it needs to be reduced. So I'm just gonna end it here. I've rambled enough. I think you get the point. Point is, reduce it to $40, hopefully less, please. I love you, Bethesda. Hopefully you will do right by the community, at least what I think is right by the community. But with logic and reasoning, all that stuff. But if you don't, well, to be honest, that does disappoint me. But that still doesn't excuse the fact that the game itself is still great, no matter how old it can get. Just please. I feel like I'm starting to get a little now, to be honest.
Oh, that's understandable.
Yeah. You eventually at some point, emotional factor comes into play when You start ranting for God knows how long, repeating the same. I mean, there's obviously, yeah, there is an emotional attachment I do have to the game, believe it or not. And some people be like, it's just a game, get over it. You don't know what that game's done for me. All the times I've spent playing it, all the good moments I've had, all the I mean, games are more than games to me. That is a way of life. That is a joy. You know what I
If
mean?
parents say you can't learn shit from video games, you could learn a hell of a
Yeah,
lot.
you can learn from video games. You can learn shit from even reading manga, believe it or not. I mean, it might be somewhat unlikely, but it is possible. Like just to just to say that out loud, but but yeah. So please, Bethesda. I hope you can understand my point. You know, even if you don't reduce it, at least understand my point, please, and at least find a way to reduce it as fast as possible. I'm not saying like you need to reduce it from 40 right damn now. You know, I demand because of these. You know, I'm saying that number one, there's got to be a policy in place where you got to go through these steps to do it. So I'm taking account in for that, and also be honest, I still believe that Skyrim, even as old as it is, like the original version, is still worth $60, provided the copy you're buying is brand new. But then again, that is a value assigned to me as somebody who critiques on content. Like, value is in the eyes of the beholder, kind of, just like beauty is in a way. You know, I mean, like again, if you're not a fan of the original Splinter Cells, you might think it's worthless. But if somebody that is a hardcore fan, they're gonna think it's like 30. You know, I mean, again, so it's also a matter of opinion. So even though emotionally I technically do agree with you, Bethesda, and that it should be priced at this, but that was the original copy. Again, I'm thinking over analytical into like the graphics and the mod system. It's already 5 years old, you know, and like games when they age need to be like, I mean, you know what I mean, like. Because obviously, games as they age and new games are made, I mean, you see how price points drop, you know, from a 60 down to 40. I mean, games drop in the price constantly. I mean, it's a circle of life. Eventually, they get down to a penny. At least that's what was the case with like one of the Guitar Hero games. I found out on GameStop for like a penny. I'm like, wait, what?
Dude, I found Conviction for a penny at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, eventually, even great games like masterpieces, eventually, because community people, you see what I'm saying? So even though I somewhat agree, you know, in a way that your price point is somewhat fair, but again, people that have already had it, already put thousands of hours into it, they can't even transfer their characters over, which for understandable reasons, but it's still they have to reinvest all that time to get where they were before with that many characters. They got to do all that. Mod system may or may not be good depending on if you like what's in there. Graphics might not be improved. Again, matter of opinion, like I stated. Just you know, I mean, new console. You should only, if you like me and already have the game, you should only be buying it for the upgraded graphics, if that's a thing, and for the mod system. You know, it shouldn't be like, you know what I mean? Like again, that's what I'm saying. So please, Bethesda, understand my side, please, please, and thank you, and reduce it as soon as you can so I can get it because I want to promote your game because I, you know, as a YouTuber, I actually, as a human being and with economic struggles, I can't really afford a PC and a graphics card to record, but you know, through people I know and family and blah blah blah, I for Christmas got an Xbox One and I got good internet. I have, you know, I have a decent, you know, a good enough income to buy Xbox Live, you know, so I can do streams and you know, so I can use that stream service to export to YouTube and grow my channel. Blah blah blah. People that have watched my introduction already know this. Um, you know what I mean? So I also want to be able to get this game to promote you because I love Skyrim. I put like I haven't put as much, you know, as other people have. I think the most I put into is about 100 hours. But compared to games like Call of Duty, even though people can't, I mean, I will to be fair, you can do that with any game if you like it enough and if you persevere. I mean, so I guess I can't really use this as an argument. But I had so much fun with it. It is a great game to stream. Random events, dynamic events, dragons, shouts, all that. It's a blast to play. But Just because you remake it doesn't mean you have the right, even as a company, to basically mooch off the fan base. Even if they're willing and acknowledge that, oh yeah, I know you're doing that, but I'm willing to pay for this anyway because I love it, whatever reason. But that's because they're thinking emotionally, not logically. So, which I understand. I've done the same exact thing. Why do you think I got the Final Fantasy games on PS3? Because it's the same way. I didn't care if, I just was like, Final Fantasy, nostalgia, buy it. Didn't even think about it, just did it. I mean, it happens. We're all victims of it. We're all humans. So I get that. But so, in all honesty, please reduce it as soon as you can, so people like me that are having economic troubles can buy it, and also record it, and for free, free advertisement for you, and just understand, like, just please, if not today, if not tomorrow, I mean, if not in a week, I would say by 2017, which is reasonable because the end of October, the November, December, like I would say about 3 months. I would say like by February. Like please, that's about 4 months. That's like 2 months short. That's like 2 months short of a year, half a year. It's pretty decent. Reduce it down to 30 if you can, but please. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I keep saying I've rambled enough, and then I keep going. I think it's because my passion and my emotion are kind of getting a hold of me, because I love this game, and I'm almost 100% positive that's what it is. I'm getting a little emotional, Just that goes to show how much you love a game when you get emotional. You know what I mean? I mean, you could tell I was emotional for the Mass Effect portion of this because I was like, you could tell by my voice, I was getting pissed. I was just getting emotional. But that's what happens when you love a game, just that emotion, just the connection, it's
Parents sometimes don't understand that. They think it's just a video game, and they think you just waste your time on it.
yeah, parents are stupid in that sense. But anyway, oh, hope you're listening, Bethesda. People that have watched this entire stream, hope you guys understand my point. Whether you agree or disagree, you just know that there's both sides to this, and if you disagree, feel free to post in the comment section, just Bethesda, I really hope that you understand, and even if you have opposing views, because you still are a company at the core, so I do get you need to earn profit. I understand that, but so please, as soon as you can, reduce the price, so poor folk can buy the game, free advertisement, record it, all that shit. Support the game. Give you more money since I buy all my shit digitally on the Xbox One because it's like I have to install it anyway. I kind of don't want all of that space in my room to be taken up when I have to install it anyway. I'd rather just buy it through the service. That way I have my own library and my ready to install, so I buy my shit digitally now. So and I do know because like if you buy something brand new and pre-order it, some of that money goes to publishers and shit, as where like if it's already pre-owned, that doesn't happen. Somebody bought it and then they sold it. Like it goes to if I remember correctly. But if you buy it digitally, like I mean, you know what I'm getting at. I mean that money will go to you guys. So I will be in a way, whether you reduce it or not, I will be buying it at some point. Well, actually, I will be waiting till it does get reduced. And either way, whether it takes like a year or freaking 2 months, like. Once that price gets reduced, I will be paying for it. You will be getting money out of my pocket. Because I do love the game that much. I will buy it. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Listen, please understand your points, as I probably understand at least one of yours. I know your company, but good companies make the most profit by, especially if they're in the gaming industry like you guys are, by listening to your fan base and your consumers and the people that are paying for your shit, giving you money and funding, like, come on now. So just, please understand. That's all I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys on the next stream. Bethesda, please take this into strong consideration. I spent like all this time ranting. I mean, I need to feel at least somewhat accomplished by the end of this. Come on now. I'm a guy in need, damn it. Anyway, love you, Bethesda. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Probably would have been a good idea to actually open my Twitch app before I said that, because I just like wasted so much time. Okay, now I'm gonna go. See you guys next time. Bye.